Hello everybody, welcome to this channel. I am Kouki. So for this video, I would love to share my perspective on money. So the understanding of money. And what we're gonna explore about money would be in from four perspectives. The first one would be with oneself, like when it comes to money, how we can see about money with oneself. The second perspective would be how we can see about money with others, like in relation between oneself and others, so other people. Okay, other people. The third perspective would be how we can see about money when it comes to the relation between oneself and the system. Okay, the system, society, the system. And the fourth perspective would be how we can see about money when it comes to transcendence. So that would be about spirituality. Okay, how we can see from that lens when it comes to conscious detachment. Okay, and that would be about spirituality, spiritual evolution. And so let's get right into it, okay? And now, the first thing would be with oneself, right? So, how we can see money when it comes to with oneself. The reason that it's important to talk about money, especially with oneself, is because we have to first understand how our relationship is with money, or with money is, because everything is really about relationship. Relationship is not just about between two people, or just about like romance, or any kind of interpersonal things. It is not just about interpersonal. Relationships are every interconnected experiences that we as living beings would experience with other living beings, as well as non-living beings. So what could also be non-living beings, right? Money is essentially a non-living beings. It is a particular existence, right? And existence is what would cause experiences to happen, like the interaction between existences, such as me and you right now, right? You're watching the video and I am pre-recording this video, and there is an experience here. There's an exchange, right? So that would be in the second part when it comes to money with others, when it comes to oneself and others, right? So let's stick with the first part first. But I was saying, why is it important to understand with oneself in the first place? Because we have to first understand who we are individually. And that is the ancient saying, wisdom of know thyself. How do you see your own relationship with money would really determine how you see the world all around it. So that would be the root of how it all stems from or ripples out, would be how you see yourself when it comes to money. Okay. So the very common phenomenon that we experience as the human race right now on this planet is that when it comes to money, a lot of us would experience the poverty or scarcity mindset. Okay, it is not something to be ashamed of. It is not something that feels good. It is not something that even conscious of for a lot of us, right? It is only when we bring it to the surface, when we try to understand, why am I working so hard for, just to survive, and I don't see an end to it, to this kind of a lifestyle that I am just working nonstop, but I'm still living very poorly, right? Why do I not having enough resources? Why do I not have this, that, right? There would be many questions that would come up, and then you would just be like, why would certain people live in such extravagant ways, and why am I doing wrong? Am I playing the game wrong? You would come to question yourself. You would come to self-doubt. So this particular part would be about the third perspective, which would be with the system, okay, that you're in, we are in. But through understanding, asking all these questions with oneself, we would then come to realize the truth. What truths? The truth would be these four perspectives, as well as what is my personal truth. So what is your personal truth? Your own personal truth when it comes to money. So let's uncover this by digging into the poverty / scarcity mindset first, because we have to diagnose whether we or you have such a mindset in yourself that is ingrained in you, but you're not conscious of it. Because all the time, our behaviors are actually determined by our beliefs, aka the belief system, okay? So the set of beliefs that we take on, and they operate from an unconscious level usually. And that is why I keep stressing on know thyself, know your own beliefs, know what you want, know what you need. It is only through this process of understanding yourself, oneself, would you see into the illusions of things, and so to break out of them. Not through violence, but simply through understanding. So now let's check. Do you have poverty or scarcity mindset? Okay. Now, let's relate it to money, right? Because we're talking about money. Well, when it comes to money, would you always feel like you would always be poor? And even if when you go to certain high-end restaurant, you feel inferior. You feel like you don't deserve to be there. Or say when you go to the supermarket, you would buy the cheapest thing and you feel cringy and you just feel cheap. Like just if feelings tell us things. Feelings come from beliefs. So beliefs come first, and then there comes feelings. The feelings stem from the beliefs that we choose to believe in. You can always change your beliefs. It is up to you. It's your own Lego. Okay, so your own Legos. The belief system is a Lego system. Like you can choose your own Lego. Okay, so sometimes we might pick on other people's Legos and not knowing it, unknowingly, and we place what they believe in, their beliefs, into our own belief system. So it's very important to understand what one wants and what one needs and what one believes in. Only then you know where you stand, and so to distinguish what is it that you truly believe in and what is it actually somebody else's beliefs in, but you simply just take on it. You can take on their beliefs unknowingly, okay? Now, when it comes to scarcity mindset relating to money, it's the same thing. Because your parents might actually operate in such a way, what I just mentioned, certain examples, that you have to work hard, so hard, work your ass off in order to survive. That's a scarcity mindset. Okay? That is one expression of scarcity mindsets. Poverty mindsets. You might even acquire such a mindset from the neighborhood that you live in, because it's a neighborhood that is for people who are not wealthy, people who are poor, even putting such a label onto it, okay? This is an entire mindset that people might pick up. But is it necessarily true that all the people who live in such a neighborhood, they are poor? Maybe objectively speaking, maybe yes, if we measure by the the amount of incomes that they have as compared to those have much high incomes. Okay, that's an objective truth. But when it comes to subjective truth, that's something we can all change. That's what I'm trying to suggest here. Because the mindset is subjective. Our individual mindset is something that we can change at our own will. At your own will. Okay? At the same. So when it comes to money, if we realize that, we recognize that scarcity mindset within oneself, it is time to address it. Where does it come from? Why do I have this? Okay, some people might call it money wound. So it might come from parents because they also have the money wounds. It might also come from your upbringing, the childhood, your experience being humiliated by other people, or even having this cultural mindset that being wealthy means you would be liked. Being poor means you would be bullied. It means you're worthless. It means you are underdog, right? You are just nothing. You have to work your way up there. So you have to work hard, really hard, only to get out of poverty. No, that's not true. Now, it is true when it comes to the third perspective, the system. Okay? Now, if you buy into this mindset, meaning you buy into the system, and that system is designed to maintain such a mindset called scarcity mindset. Okay? So the objective truth is that, yes, when it comes to if we measure the income, the amount of incomes, right, per household in the neighborhood, maybe everybody's income would be in that range, right? As compared to another neighborhood, which would be considered wealthier households, their incomes, the amount of incomes per household would be in another range that would be more, okay? Comparatively speaking. So that is an objective truth, scientifically speaking, yes. But when it comes to your own mindset, when you decide to change it at your own will, that's the game changer. Okay, your bank balance does not define who you are. Your bank balance might define how other people treat you because they see that as how other people would treat them. But it does not define who you truly are. You can be rich at heart, rich in your mind, and that's your goal. Okay, your creativity, your determination, your courage, your ability, your willingness to see beyond, to grow, that's your assets. That's your strongest assets. To learn, to be curious. Okay, that is your strongest assets. Right? Okay. So poverty mindset means you allow to be trapped. You allow to be enslaved. Right? That is the poverty mindset. That is a scarcity mindset because you feel like you have to work under people. You have to be controlled. You have to get a job. Only then you can survive because what you actually need, do you actually need money? I'm asking you, do you actually need money? What's your answer? Like, let's take a little bit of pause up here. What do you think? Do you actually need money? Because now we're gonna go into the second part. But before that, I want to pose this question. Do you think you really need money? There's no right or wrong. Okay, there's no right or wrong. It's like a prompt. It's like a prompting question. What do you think? What do you think? Do you need money? Now, I'm just going to express my personal point of view, okay? Even if what our viewpoints might differ, that's all right, okay? You have your own take. So trust yourself because everyone has their own learning experience and also their own point of view. There's no really right or wrong here. There's only standpoint. And but I appreciate if you participate in brainstorming the question that I just posed. So, and if you don't mind, you can share in the comment section below with every one of us, so then we can brainstorm together and learn from each other. Now, for the second part would be with others, right? With how money is in relation between oneself with the other people. And that would relate to the question that I just posed, which would be, do you actually need money? So you need money. What do you need money for? What do we need money for? We need money for buying certain resources, right? Buying food, gas for the car. We also need money for paying rent, right? Okay, so what is the rent for? For the shelter. So what is shelter? Land. What is food? Food is for survival, right? Food is agriculture, crops. Okay, so that's to sustain our lives, right? What else do you need? We need water, right? Basic necessities. We also need entertainment, so sense of belongings with other people, and also enjoyment, right? What else do we need money for? We need money for investment, right? Investment. Why do we need investment? Why do we need to invest in things? Because we want to create our own future, right? So that is basically moving the resources to create the future that we want to see. So fundamentally speaking, resources, that's what we need. Do we actually need money? Maybe not. We can actually replace money with something else because it's a transaction tool. So fundamentally speaking, what we truly need is the resources behind money. We just need to access to resources through this thing that we call money. Okay? Now, what does it mean when you go to the store? Let's go say you go get a haircut. What does it mean when you go to a salon and get a haircut, and you would then after the haircut, you look great, walking out, you have to pay for it, right? You have to pay for the service, right? You have to pay for the service. What is it happening here? Because now we're talking about how money, and the understanding of money between oneself and another person or other parties, right? What is happening here? You're paying for the service, right? Actually, yes, we can say, we are paying for the service, right? But if we dig deeper, what we are actually paying for any kind of products or any kind of services in the market, be it you buy an orange, be it you buy a piece of furniture, be it you buy a house, or even you buy a piece of land, okay? You're actually buying certain time and energy. When it comes to products, especially when it comes to products and services, you're actually buying time and energy. What does it mean? That person who gives you the haircut, he or she has invested time and energy into learning such a particular skill set of haircutting, and that is his or her expertise, that he has spent certain amount of time and energy into it. So what you're actually paying for is time and energy of that hairdresser that he or she has spent onto learning that skill set. So that's why we would also pay for expertise, right? We find people to pay. You find a consultant, or you would find somebody who has experiences the expertise of it. So what you're actually paying for is the expertise. And what is expertise? Time and energy. you're paying for time and the energy that is spent onto refining the craft, be it is an accountant or is a teacher that teaches singing. Okay, that is what we're actually paying for. Now, if we see from this perspective that we're actually paying for time and energy, what is time and energy? If we condense once more, because we know now that we like expertise, experiences, these kind of skill sets, they are basically direct from the two things, time and energy, right? Now, if we even further go up to the primary, that was secondary, and those are tertiary. Secondary would be time and energy. Primary, what is it? Life force. You're paying for the life force. Life force, you break it down, that's time and energy. Okay, now you further breaking it down, that would be tertiary, that would be experiences, skill sets, the craftsmanship, right? That's what it is. So you go to the very root of things. That means you are paying for life force. So whatever attention, that means time, and energy you put into anything, that is where your life force goes. So be aware of that. Be aware of where you put your time and energy into anything, anyone. So when it comes to money then, right, how is it related to money? It's when we do any kind of transaction, so like product, you buy a product, you buy an orange, or you buy, let's use the haircut thing, right, the haircutting. You pay a certain amount of money that the hairdresser has set it as, like for example, like $50 per haircut, okay, for men, $80 for girls because they have long hair, okay. So that's the amount of money that this hairdresser has set. What does it mean in this case? And you are willing to pay for it, right? You're paying for the service, the life force, okay. You're paying for that, for his or her life force. Now, in essence, you are paying with the money, right? That's actually your own life force as well, because you have spent your time and energy into something else in order to acquire such an amount of money, and that means that is where your life force goes, and thus you have this physical thing called money that you can use to exchange with another person's life force. So it's the exchange of life force. Right? You understand? Yeah, exactly. So what is going on here is that you guys are actually doing an equal give and take of the exchange of life force between each other when you pay for the hairdresser for his or her service, and you use the money, which would be your own life force, to pay for his or her service. So it's the exchange of it. Okay, it makes sense? Now, that's why it's very important to understand the understanding of equal give and take. Money is a manifestation of life force, a physical manifestation of life force. Because essentially, do we actually need this thing called money? It doesn't have to be this way. What I'm trying to say is, okay, it does not have to be this way. It can be something else. And I'm going to bring up certain examples. Like, now, let's do a little bit brainstorm. What can it be other than money, right? How now, just simply by understand like relating to the understanding of equal give and take, right? So you use the amount of money, you pay $80 for the haircut, for the service of the hairdresser. That's equal give and take, right? It's an agreed amount that you're willing to pay, and this hairdresser would be agreed to give you a haircut. Equal exchange, equal give and take, right? So the service is given to you, and you would then give that amount of money to the hairdresser. So equal give and take. You are also taking something, the hairdresser is also taking something, you are also giving something, and the hairdresser is also giving something. Equal give and take. Agreed. Okay, agreed. So in this kind of understanding, now we understand it, right? If it's not with money, if it is not with money, now let's put money out of the picture. What can we do? What can it also be, right? Brainstorm. Because it can be so many different ways. It's just stick to the universal truth of equal give and take. Means balance. It simply means energetic balance. Okay? Equal give and take, the exchange of it means balance. And that's how the universe is constructed. Okay? That's a natural order. That's why I said it's a natural law. Balance. So in this case, comment below if you have any idea. How would you see? If it's not with the tool money, what else can we use? Right? Okay. So this exchange of life force in the form of equal give and take on certain other planets, yes, I'm gonna bring into this, on certain other planets, they don't actually have money. They don't have what we use as money, okay? Because money on Earth is a byproduct or a tool set up by the system. So that's the thing that we're going to go into, the third part, okay? So money is a byproduct of the system. It is not necessarily a necessity. It is not a necessity. So that's why I asked, do you actually need money? That's the question, right? Now, on certain planets, because you see, the fundamentals of it is basically just equal give and take. It's the balancing of energy, right? That's the fundamental of it. So what we are dealing with here is just to make the energy balanced. Just to balance it. Just to balance it. That's it. So some of the civilizations, now I'm going to bring up one. One civilization would be, how they actually do it is that they actually used fingers, okay? So say they want something to have an exchange, okay? Now what they would do is they would touch this. Now say it's like two people, okay? Two beings, okay? This is another being, this is another being, okay? So what they would do is like they touch this, and that energy would be naturally balanced. It's a natural thing, right? Because it's like, right? But it happens in an instant. It is not even like it takes like 10 minutes or so. No, it does not happen like this. It's just that's how they that's the manifestation that they use. Just as how we manifest, how this entire our civilization manifests in money, the tool money, because of the system. Okay. So for them, they just need to do this. And equal give and take, exchanged, done. So this being gets what he or she needs, and this being gets what he or she needs. And that's simply an agreement. It happens energetically and done. So there's no how should I say? There's no imbalance in hierarchy. There's no hierarchy. There's no bias. There is no who is more powerful than the other one, like control-wise. There's no such thing. It's a simple mechanism where they simply balance the energy. It's just an exchange. Okay? For some other civilizations, they would do it through the mind, okay? They don't even need to physically touch. It's through the mind only. Okay, that's why I said there are many different ways. Now, if we go to a more, if we put in this the physical way, that touching fingers, right? If we see in from a possible human way, like how could we do it? It could be something that we have like a chip, or something that would Not that it has to inject into our body though. Not really. It doesn't have to be. It could be simply through okay, now I'm just gonna give an idea here. Like, it can simply through the water contents in our body, okay? And that would have a very not harmful at all, non-harmful electric current runs through the water contents from our body, and we wouldn't even feel a thing, and it's not even harmful to our system, our body, and we would just touch, and we wouldn't even feel anything, and that's the exchange. Done. And it's connected to our own consciousness that I agree with that, and I agree with that is done. Now, that would be more possibly on another timeline, on another reality, okay? But I'm just saying that it is possible. It's just that the mechanism is only just equal give and take. So do we actually need money? That's all I'm trying to suggest. We don't actually need money, because there are many different ways to achieve what is the root here is equal give and take, to exchange for the exchange of life force. Okay? That's it. Now, so then, as we were talking about money, right? Money is a byproduct of the system. So now we're going to the third part. The third part is that how we see about money when it comes to the system. So system meaning how our society is being set up, how our resources are being distributed, in a sense that is to maintain a scarcity mindset, right? So to have people to work so hard and to be enslaved, but they don't even know that they are, to be under control. It is simply what it is, right? It is simply what it is. It is a system set up for this. And you might wonder who did this. It is a hierarchy. So if you trace it back to the very top of it, which is possibly not necessary for now to talk about it, but some of you, I don't know, I feel like people might be like, just talk about it now, just talk about it. I would say it is, I would actually say that I'm gonna state the simplest truth. There are certain people that are cut off from love, certain beings that are being cut off from love, yeah. And so because they know that because they choose to believe that they can't reconnect themselves to love, and so they choose to create a system where other people would also forget about love, okay, or being cut off from love. Because when you keep anyone or anything in a fear-based consciousness, would then cause individuals not being able to reconnect with love, right? To reclaim oneself, basically. That's it. That's the entire thing. So the strategy, okay, this is strategizing. But it's not something scary though. It's quite sad. It's actually really sad. If you think about it, you see, people don't like these people, these individuals, these beings. They don't want to be left behind because they know they choose to believe that they are not loved. Okay, but they are. Okay, I'm telling the truth. They are loved. They are loved. I love them. I truly love them, and I'm gonna be honest. They are the people who you see on the news, as in those who speak in the public in front of, those big people. Okay, those big people. But it doesn't mean that they are bad guys. It's just that they are very lost. Okay, they are very lost. Lost souls. They don't feel good at all. They suffer a lot, okay? They suffer a lot. Like, imagine you being completely cut off from love. And it's at their own will. At their own will. It doesn't mean that they can't reconnect. It's just up to them. And when it comes to this, it's about their belief system again. That's why I said the most important thing is about the first part, with oneself. What you choose to believe in will determine whatever ripples out. And that's exactly what they chose to believe in, that they choose to believe that they are not loved. They don't deserve to be loved. Because they are sinned. They are bad. They choose to believe themselves in this way, okay? And so then would manifest in the entire reality of it. And that forms the system that we live in now. Okay? So I think that is pretty clear. Simply put, so compassion is necessary to see into this matter because they suffer a lot internally, okay? They feel really shit inside, even though it's like when we don't have love, because love is what makes us whole, and when they are completely cut off from love, I mean, they choose to cut themselves off from love because of the belief system, okay? So it's only about adjusting the belief system. They would also be able to feel love and be whole again. All right, it takes a bit of time, and it's up to their own wills. Okay, it can't be forced. It is free will. So with the system, that's how the system is born. And so when it comes to money is a byproduct of this system, because if they want to control, right? They want to control. They need something to keep people in the frequency of fear. And so what would that be? The scarcity mindset. So whenever anyone is in the scarcity mindset, they would then be in the fear, very much prone to be in the fear-based consciousness, right? It's just a natural thing. It's just quite natural. There's a tendency to it. So when it comes to this kind of situation, go back to the first perspective. Know that whatever the objective truth is, your subjective truth is always that's the game changer. That's the game changer. That's what's gonna change everything. Okay, work on that. That subjective truth about your own mindset, that's what's gonna change the game. Always. Never about the external, because you see how the current system is built to maintain, to control, is exactly how these beings, these individuals who choose to believe in that they are not loved, and so to cut themselves off from love, manifest in such a system through externalizing, through controlling. Okay, so that's why I said it's never about the external. You see, what they did was the external, control the external. They think the answer to cure their suffering is in the external, through power, through control, through status, right? But it's not working. You see that. Or else how would the world be in such a state right now? Because of the system, right? So it means that, evidently speaking, the system doesn't work. Externalizing anything does not work. The answer is not in the external. They are serving us the greatest example in history ever that yes, it does not work. So go within. Okay, so thank you. Big thanks to these people for showing us that is not the way. Money, power, status, control, they are not the way to love. They are not the way for us to feel happy and whole. They show us. They literally be the pioneer, the warriors, to showing us that nope, that's not the way. Nope. Right? Not the way. So okay, go within. Here. Okay, heart. Okay, go to the core. Not your core muscle. I mean your heart. Okay? So yeah, so this is the understanding when it comes to between money and the system. So do the money is for control. Because if you feel lacking of money, you feel the lacking of money, that's scarcity mindset. If you feel that you don't have enough money than the other person, you're comparing, right? You feel inferior. Okay, that's fear. Again, scarcity mindset. Now, if you feel that, oh, I bought this house and now I have to pay the mortgage, and then suddenly you lose your job and then you can't make your ends meet. Oh, stress. Fear. You see? You see that? The economy. You purchase certain bonds, you purchase certain stocks, the stock market plummet, you panic. Fear. Okay? So just be aware of it. Just be aware of it, because this is how the system is set up in order to maintain the scarcity mindset. Okay, so remember, it's all about subjective truth that is your game changer. Okay, so now let's go to the fourth part, the last part, which would be for transcendence. Okay, transcendence when it comes to money. Because you see, we have all heard of like how in Buddhism, in Taoism, even in Hinduism and many different cultures, ancient cultures, religions, they have all talked about how you have to relinquish, right, to release your material possessions in order to obtain liberation, right? Like liberating from all kinds of sufferings. And that is there are certain practices that people would do, right? For monks, like even in Christianity, I would say, like certain practices. Now, when it comes to this, it is actually not necessary to, sell oil things and it's just like, okay, I'm going to the forest. I'm going to the forest to live by the river in a hut. No, okay, it's alright if you want to do that. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Like, it's cool. It's cool. It's just because everyone wants to have a different kind of experiences, a set of experiences to experience in your own life, right? You create your own experiences, as in your higher minds are the designer. Okay, your higher mind conceive the ideas, and so we here, every one of us, we receive through our brain, we receive the idea, okay, and then we perceive. We then become the observer of our actions. So that's what in the witness consciousness. Okay, the witness consciousness basically means that we become the observer consciously of our own action. Okay, so we are here to perceive. We are here to receive and perceive. We're not really here to conceive ideas. Every single idea that we receive is designed and conceived by our own higher minds. Okay, so we're here to play the games, and we don't actually have to design anything. And when we know this, it's much easier. It's much lighter. Because you don't have to stress. You take that, I don't actually have to do anything. I can just here to enjoy. That's great. Okay? And it's actually really great. So then that is what in Taoism they would be like, that's the Tao. That means the Tao. Means the flow. The flow is to go along with what is designed by the higher mind, and you're simply here to receive and perceive and take action accordingly. That's the Tao. Okay, so that's the Tao. And when it comes to money, it is not necessarily that you have to sell your houses, sell your cars, and go to the forest. You could, it's your will, but I'm just saying that it doesn't really mean this way. It's always about a balance in everything that we do. So when it comes to money, the transcendental path regarding material possessions, including money, is actually more about conscious detachment. That the understanding, what is the conscious detachment here, is the understanding of I'm not the money. I'm not defined by how much money I own. I am not defined by how other people perceive me based on how much assets I own. I am not defined by the titles that I play. I'm not defined by the roles that I play. I'm not defined by how other people choose to put me up any kind of pedestals. I'm not any of this, but I do, and I can enjoy them consciously. That is the balance. That is the balance. It doesn't mean that you can't enjoy any of this. It doesn't mean that you can't have such things. It simply means consciously aware of I am not any of this. I am not the certificates. I'm not the education, how much knowledge I have. I am me. And that goes back to the first perspective. Who are you? Know thyself. We have to be aware of who I am first. What do I want? What do I need? What do I believe in? Do I need money? How much money do I need in order to make myself feel safe? Do I need money to define who I am? Like all these kind of self-inquiry questions, like asking oneself, is actually leading us towards the conscious detachment when it comes to material possessions, including money. It's the asking, the digging down within oneself, into oneself, that am I this? Or why do I feel triggered when they don't treat me the same as before? Why do I feel inferior when they look down on me because I did not play well in this investment game, like so and so? Okay, this is what we have to be aware of, and the understanding of that I'm actually none of this. I'm none of this. I am none of this. Like you can plug in your own name in the I, okay? I am none of this. But it doesn't mean that I can't enjoy them. I can. But just with conscious awareness and detachment. Knowing that distinguishment, okay? That distinguishment between who I am and all other things. That is the transcendental path, because you're not bound by any of this. You're not entangled with any of this. Even if your house burnt down, you're just like, oh wow, what a scene. All right, now let's see what we can do about it and just make myself comfortable again. Yeah, things happen. Challenges always appear in order to allow us to see beyond who we truly are. Right? Failures are simply opportunities for us to know better of oneself. Oh, I didn't know that oh wow, okay, I didn't know that I would become upset because of this. I didn't know that I feel so panic just because of that. I didn't know I would actually care about this much. See failures as the opportunities to help us understand more about what I need to be more conscious of. Am I too attached to this? As in, I actually define myself of this because of the attachment, the title, the status, the bank balance. That is what would allow us to see better beyond the material possessions. So yeah, enjoy your food, enjoy your vacations, enjoy your I don't know, your TV set, whatever it is. It's good to enjoy, have enjoyment. It's a playground here anyways. is a playground on earth, but it just seems to be very much constrained by the system that is currently in place. So, I mean, have fun. Have fun in the midst of anything. Make fun of it. Make it fun. Yeah. So, yeah, that is it when it comes to the understanding of money. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And I look forward to seeing any kind of comments you have, if you have any thoughts about it. And thank you so much for your patience, your love, and your support. And I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.